my district chief in my second district was Catholic. And Christmas in Mokai, they had they must have had in a warehouse someone, and they brought them out. There was one of the Jeeps was fitted out as a float with Merry Christmas and that sort of stuff on it. But that was because the district chief was Catholic. My district senior advisor was on home leave, and so Sergeant Willie and I were together, Sergeant Lewis and I. And we got a radio call that said, "There's a VIP coming. Get out to your helipad and meet the chopper. It'll be there in 10 minutes." We got the radio. I got the pilot's name, call sign. We go out. We park the Jeep. Scout helicopter comes in and lands, and this figure gets out, and immediately I knew who it was. It was a lady wearing fatigues and had a lieutenant colonel's badge. And as she came up to me, I saluted her, and she saluted me back. And then she gave me a big hug. And Sergeant Lewis was waiting back at the team house, and fortunately our maid was there, and she made coffee. And we took her back to the team house and sat down, and she was just a love. She was like everyone's mother. "How are you? It's so nice to see you. I'm sorry you're not home at Christmas." Pulls out a flask of vodka. The vodka went into the cups, the coffee. And we chatted, and she asked her name and where we were from, and how proud she was of us. And then we ran out of coffee, and the vodka kept flowing. And we probably had about 3 shots worth. And then she looked at her watch, and she says, "I'm going to all the other districts, so I'm going to have to get back." Of course, the helicopter had waited for her, and the crew stayed out at the helicopter, so we didn't see them. And she stood out, and we took pictures. I got pictures of both her and me. And we took her back, and I gave her a hug. And she said, "Stay safe, son." I'll never forget that. "Stay safe, son." And then she got back, and off she went. And she did. We had 8 districts with advisors, and she visited all of them in one day. And then she had, I think, spent the night with the province senior advisor, and then she went out to another province and did the same thing. So she's one of my heroines, and she couldn't have come at a better time, because, like I say, we had no. She said, "We're a Christmas tree." I said, "We don't have any Christmas tree here." Christmas 50 years ago, I still think about. If you hadn't brought her up, I probably would have thought about her this year as well.
We were going out on a night ambush, Christmas Eve, and Tillotson said he, I guess, spoke to a couple of other squads that were going out on an ambush, or who are going to be blocking force or something. He said, "We're going to stay close to a friendly ville, because I'm not going to have to report anybody being killed on Christmas, notes being home or anything like that." And we went out. We didn't go. I don't remember going too far. And we set up, and there's about 6 or 8 of us out on the ambush, and one guy stays awake, and everybody else nods off. And you would hear on the radio, "Fall secure, key your handset 2 times." And anyway, everything was secure. And then we heard a baby crying. And it was surreal. It was, oh my God, Christmas Eve, we're out in the jungle, and there's the ville nearby, and there's a baby crying, and it was just get up in the morning and went back to the hill, and that was my experience, and I'll never forget it.
So there's this rivalry kind of if you're an infantryman, there's a lot of guys don't like people that are in non-combat positions, that are sitting in the air conditioning and doing all these things. And at some of the outposts, like not outposts, but like Kandahar Airfield, it's like a lot of all the non-combat people are there for the most part. They've got a bowling alley there. They do salsa dancing night. They've got a coffee bean. They've got all this stuff. and we're living on an outpost. I ain't showered in 6 months, you know. So there's probably some of it's jealousy, but they're not doing what a real soldier would do. But Christmas Day, this church had sent one package for every person in our company. Um, and while we were out on patrol, all the non-combat personnel took all the packages and opened them all. So when we got back, we didn't get any of them. And it wasn't that I was mad that I didn't get the package. It was just like these guys that don't even go on patrol opened my package. Like we were all obviously furious, but and they had pictures of them on Facebook being like, "Look at all the package we got," you know, and we were the ones that are actually out there doing it. So it was kind of wild. So.
How did that did an officer step in and try to, smooth that out, or?
But no, it just went away. Like we just always got the short end of the stick. That's kind of part of, and that's why the combat, personnel have a certain sense of, I don't know if it's the superiority to them. They're like, because they're the ones actually doing the job. Not obviously there's so many support positions that are absolutely necessary to get anything done. I'm not saying that, but we did the dirty work. You know what I mean? That most people don't want to do. So
Did you get anything at all from the packages?
no, not a thing.